We make risk management simple. Have you ever noticed how difficult it is to involve other areas in operational risk management? And if we add to that the regulatory requirements that the organization must comply with, we are facing a big headache for any risk area. With Pirani, you can easily involve the different areas of your organization to create effective risk management and comply with regulations in a simple way through the identification and registration of your processes, risks, causes and consequences, controls, events, action plans, indicators, assessments, and reports that you can configure according to the needs of your company. This way, you will have all your information centralized in a single platform, so you can make decisions efficiently and assure business continuity. And you know what the best part is? Pirani is constantly evolving, adapting the best regulations practices, such as ISO 31000, Basel II, and COSO ERM to provide a comprehensive risk management tool. What are you waiting for to use Pirani? Discover the best plan that suits your needs with the simplest to use software. Try our tool for free. Pirani, we make risk management simple. Managing compliance with regulations can be daunting because it requires us to implement, follow up, and verify compliance with internal and external rules while involving other areas. That is why Pirani is the ideal tool for your company. Through Pirani, you can centralize your compliance management by creating regulations and adding the necessary clauses for effective implementation. You can designate a compliance officer to ensure proper follow-up. In addition, Pirani's Events module allows members of your organization to report any materialization of risks from any device. You can download customized reports in PDF, PNG, or Excel with just a few clicks. As you can see, compliance management becomes simple with Pirani. Choose the best plan for your company and obtain better results by using the easiest tool. Try our tool for free and see for yourself how easy it is to use. What are you waiting for? Pirani, we make risk management simple. Information is increasingly exposed and vulnerable in a more technological and globalized world. Regardless of the sector or size of your company, you have information about customers, employees, suppliers, and processes that you must protect. Information is the most critical asset of any company. You must guarantee its confidentiality, integrity, and availability by managing all the risks associated with your processes and information assets to avoid bad practices, leaks, or attacks, such as kidnapping or data theft. With Pirani's Information Security Risk Management System, you will be able to comply with the ISO 27001 standard and quickly identify and manage processes, information assets, risks, and controls, document incidents, as well as generate action plans, view graphical reports of all your management, define indicators, and perform evaluations. What are you waiting for? Choose the best plan for your business and start managing your information security risks with the easiest to use software on the market. Try our tool for free. Pirani, we make risk management simple. Do you need to manage money laundering risks in a simple way? Then Pirani is the perfect tool for you. With our software, you can track your processes, risks, causes, and consequences. Additionally, you can create controls, alerts, action plans, indicators, and perform evaluations. Do you want to take it to the next level? With Pirani, you can analyze risk factors, clients and counterparts, channels, products, and jurisdictions to support the process of defining transaction monitoring alerts. This will strengthen your anti-money laundering program. With Pirani, customized reports are just a few clicks away, ready to download in the format you need. Choose the best plan for your company and obtain better results by using the easiest tool. Try our tool for free and see for yourself how easy it is to use. What are you waiting for? Pirani, we make risk management simple. In an increasingly demanding business world, organizations must stay one step ahead by optimizing their audit processes, saving valuable time, and reducing the operational burden on their teams. With Pirani, you can carry out rigorous internal audits by controlling and monitoring your organization's internal norms, standards, and regulations. Easily schedule and assign audits by setting deadlines, delegating to the audit team, and defining the objectives and scope of each audit. Build customized checklists to define evaluation criteria, establish questions, and add relevant comments for each process you want to audit. Attach files directly, facilitating collecting evidence, accessing, and reviewing information during audits. Additionally, establish remediation and improvement plans for identified findings. This way, you will contribute to the continuous improvement of your organization. Choose the best plan for your company and optimize your audits with the easiest to use tool. What are you waiting for? Try our tool for free. Pirani, we make risk management simple.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Risk Management School. My name is Nicolai Cose, and I'm a member of the Pirani team. I'm excited to be here with you today to explore the theoretical and practical aspect of the different topics that we will see. To help us delve into this session, we're happy to have with us Alejandro Orrego, CEO at Pirani. Hi, Alejo. It's great to have you here with us. How are you?
Hi, Nicole. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining.
Great. Before we begin, I would love to invite everyone to continue learning about the world of risk management by visiting the Pirani Academy, where you will find valuable learning materials. I will leave the link in the chat now so you can see the website. So there you go. Done. And remember, if you have any questions during the webinar, please feel free to make them through the question and answer section. We will be happy to answer them at the end of this webinar. Now, let's begin with this exciting topic. Over to you, Alejandro.
Thank you, Nico, and thank you, everyone that is joining to this class. As you please click on the link of the Pirani Academy. There's a lot of amazing content. There is the recording of the last Risk Management School, so I think it will be very helpful for you. So in today's class, we're gonna talk about how to align risk to strategies. That is the invitation, but I want to make a precision that is not a strategies. Is the strategy of the company, right? So we're gonna talk about what is a strategy, what are risks, what are the definition of risk management, and then we're going to combine to answer the question on how to align. And we're going to take about 20 minutes of theory, and then in the second half of the class, we're going to see how we can practice this theory and these concepts in a software like Pirani to do this in a risk management software. So let's begin. So the first thing I want to address with you is, what's your strategy? And most important is, what is the strategy? Because it seems funny or sad, but most of the risk management teams, when you ask them, okay, so you're very good doing risk management, congratulations, but what is the strategy of the company? What the company want to achieve? Oh, that's not for us, we don't answer that question. This is for the CEO, or this is for the operation company, the operational teams. We do risk management, and I think that's very sad, because those concepts are not separate, or those are not different teams. So the first question is, if you are on a risk management team, and I would like if you maybe you put it in the chat, what role do you have in your company? You are only for the risk management team, or the internal control, or the audit, or are you in the operational team? So to give us an idea, what are you guys the teams that are you working with? But so the first question is, what is the strategy of the company that are you working? So I gonna give you a definition that I like the most. Of course, there's plenty of definition of a strategy. This is only the one that I recommend, that I like, and actually it's not new. It was from a paper in the Harvard Business Review in 1996 for Michael Porter, and he defines the strategy that day like the unique and valuable position involving a different set of activities. According to Porter, strategy is not just about operational effectiveness or performing similar activities better than competitors, but it's rather the choice to perform different activities or the same activities in different ways. He emphasized the importance of making trade-offs and choosing a distinct position in a market to create sustainable competitive advantage. So let's remember this concept, the competitive advantage, right? So this is the definition, or the idea of we're gonna work about strategy. So now let's talk about what is risk. Oh, thank you, John. So you manage risk for your organization. Thank you for your answer, John. So what is risk for us? So let's work with the definition. This definition, this is my favorite actually. This came from the ISO 21000 standards, and risk is defined as the effect of uncertainty on objectives. This means that risk is a possibility of an event or situation occurring that could have an impact on the achievement of an organization's goals and objectives. So risk can be seen as the likelihood and potential consequences of that threat or opportunity. So now we see that in the first line is the effect of uncertainty on objectives. So basically, by definition, risks and strategy are connected. So we are not talking about different topics or different concepts. So what is risk management? So let's go with a simple definition, because I think the best way to address a concept of a problem is to understand or see the picture of the problem, of the concept. So risk management is a systematic and structured process of identifying, assessing, prioritizing, and mitigating risks to achieve organizational objectives. So you do risk management to achieve organizational objectives. You do risk management to follow the strategy, basically. So it involves recognizing potential events or circumstances that may have a negative impact of the achievement of goals, and developing strategies to manage and control those risks. So the primary goal of risk management is to enhance the likelihood of success and minimize the impact of adverse events on an organization. So maybe you are familiar with this diagram of this risk management process or cycle, that the first step is identify context, measure risk, to have controls or risk management strategies, monitor and report, and continuous improvement. We have recordings of this specific step for the risk management in the risk management school last classes, so you can dip into that if you want to. So we're not gonna dive into this specific class. So I have a question for you, and I'm gonna, Nicole, we're gonna launch a poll. So why are you doing risk management? So I'm gonna give you 3 options, and I will appreciate if you put why you do risk management, if you are of the risk management team, or maybe you are in another team. So what do you think your team or your company do risk management? So it's basically 2 perspectives or approaches.
We can give you a couple more seconds to have the whole answer, but you
Okay,
can
good.
see right now it's going.
Okay, so please help us with your voting. Okay, if you are watching the live transmission in YouTube, you won't be able to answer the poll, but if you are in the webinar, in the Zoom link, you will be able to do so. So I think we can. So very interesting. So 17% you say it was a defensive perspective. 32% is a proactive perspective. Very good. 50% is both. So that's very interesting. So let's gonna talk about the different perspective of how companies can do risk management. So let's gonna talk about it. Usually you can choose one of the other, in the ideal world you choose both, right? So most of companies in the defensive perspective can do for 5 reasons. So protecting asset investment. So defensive is, as the name says, is to defend the company, to protect the company from threats or events or whatever they want to protect the company. So in the defensive perspective, the first one is protecting asset and investment. So one of the primary reasons for company to engage in risk management is to safeguard their assets and investments. The second, and I think is the most common in the clients that we work with, is compliance and legal requirements. And to be honest with you, most of our clients basically start doing risk management because regulation. Because, okay, I don't know what I need to do, but I have a regulatory entity that tell me that I need to do that. So most of companies start doing it because of compliance and legal requirements. Then again, it depends of the industry that you are. There's a lot of preserving reputation. I mean, in the current times, there's a lot of reputational threats in the social media and cancellation culture or whatever. So there's a lot of defensive perspective in this matter as well. So financial stability. I mean, we're also living in a current times of financial disruptions. There's a lot of concerns about financial stability, so there's a lot of people doing it but this way too. And the fifth, insurance and cost reductions. This is not that common, but of course there is some companies that do it in this category or in this point. But again, in my experience, most of the clients that I work with are doing it just for this. And of course, you have to do risk management because of this, but you should never forget the other aspect of proactive perspective, because some companies just do it in the defensive, in the shield, protecting the company. And again, that's very important. But what if you see risk management as an idea of help company to achieve the strategy and the goals of the company? And in this context, in the proactive perspective, maybe you can do risk management for strategic decision making. So proactive risk management allows organizations to align risk consideration with strategic decision making by understanding potential risks and opportunities. Another one, and this is one of my favorite, is innovation and growth. Managing risks proactively can foster a culture of innovation and entrepreneurship within a company. Organizations that are willing to take calculated risks are more likely to identify new opportunities for growth and market expansion. A company that don't take risks are companies that don't grow, basically. So are you company making and taking risks with, I mean, as a decision, as a choose, or is just is the environment that we face in the process? So the third is enhanced resilience, and I think this is a consequence of doing risk management, but proactive risk management contributes to organizational resilience. Companies that anticipate and prepare for potential challenges are better equipped to navigate uncertainties and disruptions, ensuring continuity and sustainability. And for competitive advantage, remember the definition of a strategy. The synthesis of the strategy is, what is your competitive advantage? If you do risk management based in the proactive perspective, proactively managing risk can provide a competitive advantage. Companies that are resilient and adaptive to changing environments are more likely to outperform competitors and maintain their market position. And fifth, stakeholder confidence. Maybe in this era of venture capital companies, of a lot of investment companies, and there's a lot of stakeholders, shareholders, and a lot of people putting his eyes and the interest in the companies. Maybe this will have a better position, but by demonstrating a commitment to risk management practices, enhance stakeholder confidence. Customers, investors, and partners are more likely to trust and engage with organizations that have robust risk management processes in place. So if we need to put it in a dry diagram or in a simple picture, so your company has a current condition, your company has a today, and that company want to achieve or to put the place in a target condition. So the strategy is the road. If they declare that they want to be any company, maybe different than today, or maybe better. So the strategy is to create a sustainable competitive advantage. It's not just ensure the business continuity, that is the defensive concept. If you want to achieve something and you make the road and the direction to do that. So in the same way, risk management, remember the cycle, the identify context, measure risk, the controls. Risk management will help you to navigate that road, that path. Risk management is to enhance the likelihood of success and minimize the impact of adverse events. This is just the definition that we give you a minute ago. So again, this is not different concepts. This is not, this is different ideas. Actually, it's the same idea. You do risk management to navigate that path. But you might say, okay, that's obvious. This is the world peace. So I can give you like a specific framework to try to do this. So we also identify like 4 steps or that will help you to navigate this and to connect the risk management with the strategy of the company. So the first one is to assess your strategy context. So basically is answer the question, what are the target conditions of your company? What is the strategy of your company? What the company wants to achieve in order that you can help to navigate that path, that road. So the first step is to understand your internal and external environment. Maybe you know that this is the SWOT analysis. So in the internal aspects, what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses, but most important in the external aspect, what are the opportunities and what are the threats to navigate this. So that influences your strategic direction and priority. Remember, understand this strategy as a goal, as a direction, as a competitive advantage. So the best way to, I like the concept of Porter in this paper, that the strategy is not being the better or being the best. That are very broad concepts, but to have a competitive advantage, to be different, that's more important, to be relevant and different. So to understand why your company are different or why are your company relevant, start from the SWOT. It start from your company, right? So you need to identify the key drivers, strengths, uncertainties, scenarios that may affect your industry, market, customers, competitors, and regulators. You also need to evaluate your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. This will help you define your strategy context and the critical factors that shape your risk profile. So the second step will be define your risk appetite and tolerance. I think we should have a specific risk management school and a specific class about this topic, because a lot of you asking us for what's the difference with risk appetite and risk tolerance. We also have a blog post in Pirani Academy that explains this a little bit better. Actually, this image, this graphic is from our blog post. So to understand what's the difference with risk appetite and risk tolerance and risk capacity, I invite you to read that. But in this second step is to establish your risk appetite and tolerance based on your strategic context and your stakeholders' expectations. You need to articulate the amount and type of risks that you are willing to take or accept. Because if you don't do this, it's difficult for you to do proactive risk management, because basically you need to encourage, to promote the company to take risks, but the company needs to define the amount of how much risk they're willing to take. So if you don't do this to start with, you will never be able to do proactive risk management. So in each of your strategic areas, such as growth, innovation, quality, reputation, compliance, and sustainability, you also need to specify the level of variation from your expected outcomes that you can withstand in each area, and the indicators, that threshold that will trigger actions or escalation. So again, this will be very important. Oh, good. Nicole put it in the chat, a test of risk management maturity. Thank you, Nicole. So the third step will be integrate risk into your strategy execution, because that we are more get used to. So I think this won't be that difficult, but basically is, okay, once you understand the context, once you define the risk appetite and tolerance, is to integrate in your strategy execution. I mean, another concept that I like from the paper from Michael Porter is strategy is not a plan. It's not a presentation or a slide. A strategy is what you do. So you need to do something. The first step is to think and to plan, of course, but it cannot be just a plan. So strategy is execution by embedding into your planning, budgeting, performance management, and reporting processes. You need to identify, assess the risks that may affect your strategy objectives and prioritize them according to the likelihood and impact. This is basically the risk heat map or matrix or whatever concept are you using right now. And you also need to develop and implement risk responses like controls, such avoiding, reducing, transferring, and exploiting the risks. and monitor the review, their effectiveness and efficiency. And I want to take a pause on this because sometimes, of course, I don't want to generalize, but a lot of companies think that they need to eliminate the risks. And this is a very funny concept because remember, risks cannot be eliminated. They cannot. Risk will be stay there. You have different risk treatment. You have different options to navigate those risks. But again, the risk won't be disappear. So remember, some companies, they think that they need to eliminate in a better word, they want to mitigate all the risks. But remember that that's not the only possibility. Remember that you can avoid the risks. And remember, avoid the risk is not delete or disappear the risk. The risk is gonna still be there, but you're gonna avoid that risk. So, for instance, your company want to open a headquarter in, I don't know, in Ukraine. I mean, the conflict and the war is gonna be there, still be there. The only thing that you can do is to avoid the risk. Okay, after the risk assessment and identifying the context, I'm going to avoid, I'm not gonna open a headquarter in Ukraine. That's avoid a risk. After the assessment, it's not that you won't eliminate the conflict or the war in Ukraine, right? Of course, there is the mitigation. So it involves taking steps to reduce the likelihood or impact of the risk. Remember, we also have a recording of a specific class of assessing risks. You can also transfer. This is very common because remember that, okay, maybe the risk is a natural disaster. I cannot mitigate a natural disaster. I can mitigate the consequence. Or maybe we have another class about the difference of causes and consequences in a risk assessment. But usually you transfer the risk to insurance companies. So if these specific events happen, I have an insurance company to transfer the risk, to pay the fines or to pay the indemnizations or whatever. So remember, you can, and a lot of companies choose to transfer risks. And of course, you can accept the risks. You can say, okay, I understand that this risk may occur, but I understand that these risks may happen, and I'm gonna live with it. Because maybe in my risk heat map is on the green, is in low, or no, or maybe the risk is in medium or it's orange, but you want to accept. Why? Because you define that in your risk appetite and in your risk tolerance. And once you define that, you are willing to accept that risk because it's in your risk capacity, you're gonna take it. Because accept that risk, let me go back, will help you to get that target condition. And remember, all the risk is not just to mitigate or transfer. Remember that you have this 4 option that you can work with. But again, you cannot just take risk without previously define your risk capacity. So again, that will be very interesting. Thank you, Nicole. Nicole is putting a lot of blog posts that dive into these concepts for you. So please take a look at those. And the last step will be align your risk culture and capabilities. And this is very important as well because, I mean, I am the CEO of a risk management software, but I can tell you that a company can have the best software in the market, but if they don't have a risk management culture, the risk management software won't do nothing, unfortunately. So the final step is to align your risk culture and capability by fostering a positive and proactive attitude toward risk. You need to promote that risk is not necessarily a bad thing. Risk is not red. Risk is not the problem. Risk is not a threat. Risk can be an opportunity. So you need to foster that. You need to make the conversation in the company about how can you do risk management, not to defend, not to just to protect, but to grow. So you need to promote a culture of risk awareness, ownership, accountability, and learning, and encourage a constructive dialogue and feedback of risk issues and opportunities. So if you do that, if you teach the concept of what you can do, and let me please go back to this, that risk management will help you to navigate the road and the path of the strategy of the company. So those are basically the steps. And I also want to encourage you not just to visit the blog post of Pirani, that of course you're welcome to, but I don't know if you know that LinkedIn has recently launched a service that is skill pages. So remember that we're going to send you this presentation, and we're going to send you the recording of this class. So we're going to send you also the links. So in LinkedIn skill pages, there are there's a lot of skill pages of a lot of topics, but there's a specific skill page of risk management, and you can visit these skill pages in every language that you speak. If you speak Mandarin, if you speak English, if you speak Spanish, you can access the information. And there is a specific LinkedIn skill page of risk management that are more than 800,000 followers. And there is a lot of open conversations about topics, and all the information is compiled by AI and the members. So please visit also that space, because it will help us to talk about these topics, and there's a lot. So basically, the 4 steps that I just give you of the how to align risks and strategies, the original source was the LinkedIn risk management skill page. So you can open the conversation and make your approaches. So I also I want to invite you to the risk management skill pages on LinkedIn. So another thing that's to close the theory is, remember that, please let me go back again to this diagram. If the strategy and the risk management is a path, it's a road that you're going to travel, you need to have some indicators that help you or gives you the information. Okay, are we going in that direction? Because maybe, and that happened a lot, you're going in this direction over here. And your risk management process and your risk management cycle are taking the company in another direction. Not just the risk management, maybe the processes of the tactics of the company are taking the company in another direction. So you need to have an indicator or metrics that help you to understand if you go in that direction, or that you're not going any other way. So it is important that your risk management software or of your methodology or framework have indicators. And we're also going to have another risk management class. Actually, next one of the next month in February will be about identifying emerging risks. And this is very connected with these concepts of key risk indicators, key control indicators, and key performance indicators. So if you into your risk management software, you have indicators that help you to understand what is the road and the path that you navigating if you go in another direction will be perfect. So remember the difference between these concepts. I'm not gonna deep into these concepts today. Again, this will be more another specific class, but in summary is the key risk indicator focus on indicating the potential emergence of risks. The key control indicators focus on evaluating the effectiveness of internal control and managing risks. And the key performance indicator are broader metrics that assess overall organizational performance, including the impact of risks. So the question is, do you have indicators? Do you track indicators in the risk management software that you have or in the risk management framework that you use to connect the risk management with the software? Are you aware of the direction that your company is going? And are you aware how far or near are the company of the target condition or the strategy or the competitive advantage of your company? That would be the question that I want you to take from this class. So if you want to schedule a meeting about this, to deep into this concept or to deep into the software, please, you can book a meeting with me directly to talk about these specific topics or to learn about the Pirani software. So you can scan the QR that, and maybe not today, but let's try to do this again in the practical part of the class. That is, okay, let's try to translate all this theory of these concepts into a specific risk management software that is Pirani. So let's talk about the software. I don't know if you know about Pirani. Basically, it has a risk management software. Actually, we are the leader globally in operational risk management for the whole year. We have the best relationship, best usability, but you can also read the reviews of Pirani in G2 and also in Capterra. So let's go directly to the software. So if you have your software, and if you want to track the risk management cycle, the risk management process, remember that at least in operational risk management, so you need to have in the context of your company, after the SWOT analysis, what are the key processes? What are the process map of your company? So one specific question that will help you to understand, okay, I'm aligned to the strategic with the strategy of the company, yes or no. So for instance, I have I don't know, a lot of the process map, the processes map of my company. So maybe again, I have a strategic approach of the company in 2024 will be, I don't know, expand and grow the company and open my first office or my first headquarters in, I don't know, in Texas, or my first headquarters in Europe, or whatever country that you choose. So maybe the internationalization will be an important process in that matter. So maybe I can create the process. So maybe, okay, the company want to open or blah, blah, blah. So the first thing is, okay, select this process. This is a supporting process. Maybe not, because maybe, okay, maybe my company is a retail company, right? So I'm an AWS and my main company is in the US, or my main company is in India. and I want to open operations in Latin America because it's the trend or whatever. So that's not a supporting process. Maybe the supporting process is the payroll or is payments or I don't know, the cleaning. That's a supporting process. But maybe in the internationalization, the expand of the company will be a strategic process. You see the difference? Or maybe, again, you are, for instance, Pirani is a company of risk management. It's a company of technology. So maybe the process of technology will be a missional process, you know? But if my strategy say that I want to have a competitive advantage in Mexico, maybe the headquarters or open the market in Mexico will be strategic. So the first thing is in the software, you need to categorize the processes or the context of your company that then helps you to filter this information and to do something with this. And this will be category. Okay, maybe I have a process, a macro process of internationalization, for instance. And this is the macro process, the open, the broad process of internationalization. And maybe we can add the evidence or whatever, and we create. And maybe we're going to create a process beneath that open, Mexico market, And again, this is a strategic. This will be a process beneath the internationalization. I get the description. And we're going to create. And maybe we're going to create another and a specific that, okay, we have internationalization, we have Mexico, and then we have north of Mexico, Monterrey, for instance. Then this is much specific. This will be strategic, and this is a two process that is beneath the Mexican market. And this is basically how it works, the categories and the type. That helps you to understand the hierarchies of the process or the context of your company, and that you need to do specific things in every one of these processes. So then we're going to have this information of the process in the company. So internationalization and beneath Mexico market and this North Mexico. This is just an example, but you can have this hierarchy in every process of context of your company. So remember the question, what is the road and what is the path of your company? And then you're going to create the risks. So what are the risks associated with open the office or open the headquarters in the broad process in the internationalization? Okay, we need to understand the regulatory in Mexico, or we need to understand the economic or the social political environment in Monterrey in the north of Mexico. So again, when you track all the risks in open the office in Monterrey, after the assessment, you maybe say, okay, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to avoid open the office or the headquarters in Monterrey, or maybe I accept the risk because the benefit of open the office in Monterrey will be bigger than the cost of the impact. So you need to do that. So maybe, okay, I'm going to create the risks. I don't know, maybe the regulation in Mexico will be a risk because maybe I don't know. So regulation. Okay, so I can track the impact of the likelihood. Okay, maybe this will be serious, or maybe it will be very likely. So you can assess the risk in real time in your risk heat map in your matrix in Pirani. You put the description, and maybe, okay, this risk will affect the continuity of your business, for instance, yes or no. again, this will be in a defensive perspective, but maybe you can add that evidence. And what will be the risk treatment? So, okay, all the risk, all the, what I'm gonna do with these specific risks? I'm gonna accept, I'm gonna transfer, I'm gonna mitigate, I'm gonna avoid. Or, so, okay, I'm gonna transfer because I'm gonna contract, I don't know, a lawyer or whatever, or maybe, or no, I'm gonna mitigate because I'm gonna learn about the regulation. Yeah, or I'm gonna avoid. I'm not gonna open the headquarters in Mexico. So then you can track, but you're gonna accept the risks. So you're gonna create, and you're going to associate this specific risk with the process that we just create. For instance, it's gonna, for internationalization maybe, or yeah, to the pro. So internationalization, and we're gonna create. And maybe then we have a lot of risks in my company, in the risk dashboard of Pirani. So maybe we can then filter, okay, we have 40 risks tracked in the software right now. Remember, this is demo, but I'm gonna filter, okay, no, let me check what are the risks that I'm gonna accept. Because in the 40 risks that I have, now I know in the 40 risks that I have, I'm gonna accept 3 risks. So I'm gonna track, okay, the whole many risks that I have, how many I will transfer, how many I will mitigate, and how many I will avoid, for instance. So you need to have that visibility in the software that will give you this. So for the in this specific example of 40 risks, I'm going to avoid 9 of them. And maybe you can track more information of the risks. So when you see, when we create the risk, we only have those fields. Okay, what is the name? What is the description? What is the risk treatment? But maybe you say, but no, but in my Excel, because remember that usually companies start doing risk management in spreadsheets or Excel. No, I have more information. I want to collect more information and more data about the risk. I want more information. Okay, perfect. You will be able to do so. So in Pirani, you can customize and create as many fields as you need in order to track all the risks and even the processes. So in the settings, you go into the fields, and you can do 2 things. Remember that the first thing is, when we assess or rate the risk, will be the direct approach. Okay, what are the likelihood and what will be the impact? But maybe, I know, let me go back to the settings. And maybe you need to assess the risk by different variables. Oh no, I want to track the environmental impact. I want to track the financial impact and the reputational impact. So you're gonna go to a risk rating, and you're gonna choose, okay, I wanna know, I don't want to the direct rating, but by variables. So, okay, I want to track the financial performance, the reputational, the health and safety, or maybe even create another one, or maybe just 3. So you can have a specific description for your company. Okay, what will be the reputational impact for my company that specific risk? So you can have that, and a specific description for your company. What is the reputational impact if this happened to your company? For example, in the financial performance, you can have, okay, in my company, a minor impact will be losses under $100. But again, you can put the specific description and save the changes and save. And then you can create a specific fields for your risk creation. So we're gonna go to OMR and fields, and in the risks, when I creating the risk, remember that in the first example, we're gonna just ask for the name, the description, and the risk treatment. But maybe you want to add another things. So we put the risk treatment. Maybe you want to put another options, or maybe you want, okay, this risk is aligned to with the strategy, for instance. Maybe you can put, okay, which a short answer, a multiple single selection menu. So maybe, okay, maybe yes and no. To try to understand, you can put, okay, this will be required, this will be mandatory when I creating the rigs in the software or not. And I'm gonna create it and I'm gonna publish. So again, you can create your methodology or your framework in order to have all the information that you need in your software. So I'm going to go back to the risks. And now I'm going to create and create another one. So for instance, the regulation in Mexico, I'm going to edit this. So in the risk impact, now is going to, because I choose to rate the risk not by direct approach, but by variables. So, okay, the impact will be minor, will be the reputational will be minor, the health and safety will be minor, the environmental will be minor, and the legal and regulatory will be critical. And you can choose, okay, will be final rating will be by the highest rating, so it will be here. And remember that I put another field that this is aligned with the strategy, yes or no. And then again, you can save all the information that you have, and then you can filter. Okay, I'm going to filter this if all the risks that are aligned with the strategy tell me whether they are aligned or not. And now you can track all the risks that you have is if aligned or not with the strategy. So this is just one idea. Of course, there's a lot more, because remember, this is just the third step, and there are four. Let me go back. Yeah. Remember, assess your context, define your risk appetite and tolerance, and we are going to integrate risk with your strategy execution. And again, of course, you need to have reports. It's important to have, okay, how can risk management is helping me to navigate that growth, is helping me to get that target condition. So for instance, in operational risk management, you will need to have the report of all the inherent risks, residual risks that you moved, the risk profile by processes, all the control robustness that you have, the events priority and status. And this is a very important report. So what are the losses of the company? So, okay, in which specific process in which specific risk are you losing money? Because that's also a defensive approach. Okay, what are we in the four risks, in the 40 risks that I identify, what are the specific risks that are costing me most? So in this example, we have a specific process that is costing me almost 5 million. And we have, in this specific process, we have two risks that tell me that information. So this is why you need to have the report. So you need to understand not just the information in a spreadsheet or the information in the software. So what are you doing with the information? Remember what the decision-making aspect in the risk management. If you can make decisions with risk management, you're only doing for the compliance stuff, and that's it. And another question, another aspect is, remember, the indicators. So you can also track the indicators of your company in order to see if the road, if the direction that you are walking is the right direction. So for instance, we can track all the key performance indicator, key risk indicator, and key controls indicator for your company. So you can connect the strategy of your company to your indicators. Okay, you can look, this is a risk management software, but you can track the growth of your company. You can know, okay, this is a demo. Don't be scared of these numbers, the growth of 2%, but you can track the new clients, the active clients, the revenue, in the internationalization, the new countries that you open offices, you can create manual and dynamic indicators, automatic indicators that helps you to understand what are these specific indicator is connected with. So, for instance, you can, when you create a specific goal on a specific indicator, you can associate this specific indicator with processes, risks, and controls. Remember, the key risk indicator are indicator associated with risk. The key control indicator are associated with controls. And usually the key performance indicator are linked or connected with processes. So you can connect all this information and select the category in order to understand what are you doing in your company and to connect the risk management with the strategy of your company. So this is basically what we want to share with you today. Of course, there's a lot of topics that need to dive into. That's why we have different risk management school with specific topics. So maybe we have a specific risk management school about indicators, and maybe we have a specific risk management school or webinar or blog post or ebook about risk appetite, but you get the idea. So we have 4 minutes left for, I don't know if you have any question or whatever, or if you want to book a meeting with me to show you a little bit deeper the software of the academy. And I would be gladly to help you with that in the time that left. You know, if you have, let me go back, question and answers. And I seen a lot of people that I don't know, you also maybe have an Spanish names. Remember that we have the risk management school is on Wednesday once a month, and we have the risk management school in Spanish. If you are in Latin America or in Spain or you speak Spanish, is every Thursday. So tomorrow we're gonna have a risk management school in completely in Spanish. So you will also invited to those spaces that are more frequent.
Thank you, Alejo.
So it seems I don't have it. Do you have any question, Nicole, in the chat or in the question and answers?
I don't see any question. I think it's very clear, your presentation. I just add your link for people can book a meeting with you.
Good.
Cool. And I think we almost done. Thank you so much, Alejandro, for your valuable participation in this webinar. Finally, I would love to invite everyone to participate in a short survey that will appear when this meeting ends. This will help us to improve in our webinars. Thank you so much for your participation and see you soon.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Goodbye. See you next class.